righty. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. Before we get started, we all should have received a message acknowledging that this meeting is being recorded. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I don't know if we have any dignitary guests today. I don't think so, at least not yet. My name is Ray Melendez, and I will serve you tonight as Sergeant at Arms and, Toastmaster of the Day. We ask that you keep yourselves muted during the meeting while others are speaking, so that we can hear whoever's speaking at the moment. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Hold on one second. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's get this show started, and I will pass this meeting on to our Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Shay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I encourage you to go ahead and name yourselves by your role and your speaking function for today. That way it will help provide a smooth function for our meeting and our Toastmaster of the day. So good evening and welcome to our Monday night Wellington Toastmasters meeting. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guest, Gabriella. My name is Shay Greaves, and I'm honored to serve as your club vice president. In lieu of Shastri, who is our president acting right now, and he'll be joining us later today. Let's jump into our mission statement. Our mission statement is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence. It's a pleasure to have all of you at our meeting, and to keep our meeting flowing smoothly, I just encourage you to respond with your emojis, or you can also provide instant feedback within our chat. Now passing on the meeting to our Toastmaster of the Day, Sergeant at Arms, Ray Melendez.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shay. And just making sure I'm testing a new mic that I got for the club. So if you don't hear me, let me know as well. So 1 second here. So our theme for today is a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm going to start this meeting by going through a set of slides. 1 second here. Let's see how I present. All right. And let me know if you see the slides. Give me a thumbs up if you see if you're seeing my screen. Okay, thank you. So when you see this picture, what runs through our minds? We may be thinking about military. We may be thinking about protection, feeling safe. We may be thinking about a story we once heard from someone who flew one of these. We may just recall a movie, or we may just wish that we would have flown one. When we see this picture, we may just crave for, enjoying a cup of coffee. I would say myself. May get flashbacks of when we once were a barista. I think that's what they were called. We may think of the art that's required of actually creating this. Or we may just think of the last time we had breakfast with our loved one. We see this image and we may just think of a forest. We may think of our pathways. We may think of the places we may go on here. We see this image and we may be thinking about the last tornado or hurricane we were in. We may be thinking about losing all of our belongings. Or we may just be thinking about stocking up for the next hurricane season. And this being the last slide, we may be thinking about the music that we enjoy, about sharing music with a child or even a parent. We may be thinking about listening to music on a record player, or which was the best way to play music back then. Or we may just be thinking about bonding with a loved one. You see, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I remember hearing this quote. I remember hearing this quote as a kid. It conveys that a photo can have more information than words itself. It tells us that a picture can tell us a story just as good as words can. It tells us that a picture can have a stronger message than a message alone. Toastmaster Michelle used some pictures last meeting that we met on site. And I'm sure each one of us saw them, had our own words when we saw these images. We had our own story. Each one of us can take a picture and look at it through our own lens and make 1,000-word story out of what we see and imagine. Now, let's pass the mic over to Toastmaster Mariana for our invocation.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Today's invocation is going to be on happiness. Happiness is an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. You can choose happiness by counting your blessings, carrying a smile, speak daily affirmations into your life, hold back a complaint, use your strengths, eat a healthy meal, treat others well, and meditate. I hope you guys choose happiness for your life. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mariana. As Toastmaster of the day, I serve you as Master of Ceremonies. For the benefit of our guests and new members, really our guests, our traditional Toastmaster meeting has 3 sections: formal speeches, table topics, and evaluations. Toastmaster Gary Newport, please explain your role as a counter.
Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of the R counter is to note any word or sound used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections. I will keep tally of the scores and give a report at the end of the day. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. Toastmaster Justin Gwynn, please explain your role as General Timer.
Toastmaster of the day. I am responsible for monitoring each part of the meeting. I operate the timing signals, shown here by my beautiful cards. Timing begins with the first definite verbal or nonverbal communication with the audience. As general timer, whoever is speaking and has control of the meeting, please pay attention to this red card that I may show to indicate to pick up on where you are at and to quickly close off. And I will get back to you later on the timing for each speech. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. Let's see here. Toastmaster, is Michelle on the call? Maybe not. And we don't have Toastmaster Shastri on here. I think
Toastmaster Michelle is on the call.
Michelle, why am I not seeing her? Okay. Well, Michelle, will you please explain your role as Table Topics Master?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ray
Oh, there you are.
Hernandez. Yes. The topics master gives members who are not assigned a significant speaking role the opportunity to speak during the meeting. I challenge each member with a subject and they respond with a 1 to 2 minute impromptu talk. The theme will be concurrent with a picture paints 1,000 words. Please pay attention to the timing signals, which will be given later. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Michelle, and I apologize for not seeing you here. All right. Toastmaster Jack, do you want to explain you're ready to explain your role?
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you.
The role of the grammarian is to try and catch misuse of the English language, something I'm really good at doing, but not as good at catching. So being grammarian is my way of trying to catch myself being a non-grammarian. The word of the day today is considerate. Having showing regard, let's see if I can put it up there. Having showing regard for the needs and feelings of others, characterized by careful thought and deliberate actions. Being considerate provides brighter viewpoints in all that we see. So as we paint these pictures and use our eloquent words, I will be looking for a misuse of language and telling everybody when you did. God bless. I'm out.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jack, and thank you for being considerate and taking this role at the last moment here.
We did it once already.
Okay, here, let's see. The first section of our meeting is the formal speeches, which are prepared speeches based on specific projects in our communication manuals or our Pathways program. This evening, we have 2 speakers. Toastmaster Suhana, please provide us with the project information of our first speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Shay Greaves is on the pathway of visionary communication. She's at level 3, which is deliver social speech. Her speech is between 3 to 4 minutes, and her project title is Dream Actualized. In this project addresses the skills needed to compose a speech for a social occasion, including a toast or an acceptance speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suhana. Toastmaster Justin, do you want to display your timer?
Happy
Cards.
to. I'll be showing this green card at 3 minutes, this yellow card at 3.5 minutes, and this red card at 4 minutes, and I'll clap off Shay at 4.5 minutes if she reaches that time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. The title of the speech is Dreams Actualized. This year's Compassion in Action Award grant will go to a true visionary. She dared to learn from her life experiences, humbly engage with her communities around her, and actively seek out the wisdom of experts in their field. My fellow Toastmasters, give a round of applause for Shay Greaves.
Wow. Wow. I am speechless at the moment, but extremely grateful. I would like to say that I clearly envision this moment, but that is not the whole truth. The whole truth is that there are seasons and times in your life that may seem so perpetually dark that you might forget what the sun looks like, let alone what it feels like. Well, I am grateful for God specifically placing moments, people, and experiences where I got to experience his light and his warmth. I want to specifically thank my mom, my brother, and my sister for the way that I see them live out that light on a regular basis, and for seeing and calling out in me greatness that I didn't see in myself and sometimes still struggle to see. I would like to also specifically thank my stepmom and my dad for creating a safe space for me in the season that I needed it most. But I would also like to thank the many professionals and organizations that partnered with me and saw this as something worth investing in. I would like to thank you. This award is just as much as mine as it is each and every one of you. So this is a moment of celebration for us all. And I'd like us to absorb that. Furthermore, so let's just take a moment because I'm thoroughly excited and clap in this moment. Secondly, I want to challenge each and every one of you. A little quick research, and I came across some statistics. Approximately 47% of Americans say the rise of cost of living is the greatest threat to financial security. Second, 53% of Americans have an annual income less than $75,000. Third, 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Now let's put us present. We're living in a current society where the new hashtags are hashtag healthcare, hashtag self-love, hashtag self-care. But the people that need this most might not have enough time to define it, let alone pursue what that means. Therefore, these hashtags become a luxury. I invite you to look at your resources and the way that you are spending your time and see ways that you might effectively partner with those who are in need. It is an outcry that our American society is calling us. You look at a rise in mental health surge. You look at a rise in disabilities and disorders and diseases, dis-ease. You look at a rise in hunger in America. So I just challenge you to consider ways that you can efficiently partner with this need that our very own people are crying out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shay. It makes me think and, appreciate, the world actually that we live in. We don't always go about and do that. And as well, put second thoughts into what we have and what we have, available for us. Toastmaster Mark, please provide us with the project information for our second speaker.
I would be delighted to. Thank you. Tonight's speaker, Stacy Kessler's project from Pathways is Presentation Mastery, a persuasive speaking, 5 to 7 minutes. Also to be known is that under the project description, the project focuses on helping you to develop and support a viewpoint and identify the most appropriate type of persuasive speech for your topic. The purpose of this project is to understand the types of persuasive speeches and to deliver a persuasive speech at a club meeting. I encourage everybody to evaluate the speakers tonight and to submit any feedback possible to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mark. Toastmaster Stacy's, her speech is titled The Depth of Officership and the Functionary Roles in Toastmasters International. Tonight, Stacy shares the depth of how Toastmasters can support you in all areas in your life, step by step, as it has most certainly supported her exponentially. Let's give a welcome to Toastmaster Stacy Kessler.
Thank you to you, Toastmaster. Great job this evening in keeping up the energy. I want everybody to just take a deep breath in and get present with this moment. So I'm going to lead you in a breath if you would like to close your eyes, just so you can breathe and see how when you breathe, how much better you feel to kind of sink into the moment. Let's go ahead and close our eyes and take a deep inhale in through your nose for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you're ready to come back, be with this. A mentor-mentee relationship benefits both the mentor and the mentee, and both learn to grow with the mentoring experience. Tonight, I wanted to share with you some briefings on what the functionary roles could possibly mean to you at a whole nother level and taking yourself on to all new levels. Let's start with the Toastmaster. The Toastmaster is the person that leads the meeting the night of the meeting. Behind the scenes, it is their job to enroll you to take yourself on to whatever role it is that you feel would serve you in your life in this very moment. Meaning it could be the week, the month, the year, whatever it would be, right? The Invocation Master is a functionary role that allows that person to get comfortable speaking maybe 1 or 2 lines to inspire the audience. And as the Invocation Master, it's a great way for that person to make eye contact with the audience, which is really easy to do with the Zoom platform, and see how receptive the audience is to what they've just shared. Then we have the grammarian and the counter. I don't know about you, but I've never heard of a grammarian before I enrolled in Toastmasters. I didn't even know that was a word. The grammarian's function is, like Jack shared this evening, to be present with the meeting so that all of the uniqueness of what is shared, whether it's phrases or sentences or certain words that are used, that he could bring that to the attention of all of us by the end of the meeting. It's also for us to look in a place of where could we take ourselves on optimally and correct ourselves in the way we are speaking. The counter is just that. The counter catches all of the mishaps that we typically will use if we're speaking quickly and we're not taking breaths possibly, so we're using filler words. So everybody take a breath with me. The timer and the general timer. This is a significant role. The role of the timer is to be present with every moment of the meeting. If you could notice on our agenda, every part of our meeting is broken down into minutes. The job of the timer, the general timer, is to be paying attention to that so that we ourselves can learn how to be laser in the way we're looking to get our functionary roles across in an inspiring and most powerful way. Does that make sense, everyone? The general timer? And then we have the timer, who allows us to see where it is in our speeches, how far along we've come with a green, yellow, and red hand up that Justin is going to be showing us this evening. So this enables you to look at how laser am I being? Am I being effective when I'm speaking? Do I come up and to the stage, or right now our stage is this evening coming to the stage of your own home and bringing forth a powerful message that is right on point. Now we will go into the table topics master. How many of you have heard of the word extemporaneous speaking before you became a Toastmaster? Anyone hear of the word extemporaneous? Most of us, when we started in Toastmasters, we couldn't even pronounce the word extemporaneous. And some of us may even still stumble upon this word. Extemporaneous speaking allows you to see and witness your message, how it comes across, and see what the audience is actually in receivership of when you speak to this particular audience this evening. And I hope I'm really speaking to each one of your hearts. The general evaluator, his actual job and her actual job is to literally support all of the functionary roles even before the meeting. I bet you didn't even know that as the general evaluator, Heon Green, or maybe you did because you've been a Toastmaster for the past 11 years. Possibly that's true. The general evaluator gives feedback on the evaluators because there's no one here to really evaluate the evaluators, and gives us feedback on how the meeting ran and how the meeting is functioning. The evaluators and the speakers, of course, you know that. That's what we're doing tonight. We're practicing tonight for you in order to see what the receivership is and give us a little bit of the Oreo cookie method. Who here likes Oreo cookies? Anybody like Oreo cookies? I really don't like Oreo cookies. I would love to change this method to maybe a vegan ice cream sandwich. And the vegan ice cream sandwich could look like, on the outside of that sandwich, it may be yummy and delicious chocolate, which is going to tell you what worked in your speech. The middle is the vegan ice cream, whatever your favorite is. That's going to be the possibly suggestions of what could work for the next time you do the speech. The third is going to be wrapping it up with a bow tie on that other side and tasting a yummy, delicious flavor of leaving the audience and you feeling great about what you've just done. And those are the functionary roles that you play in Toastmasters. And I would love to see how each functionary role supports you in your life as you are taking on each role. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dignitary Heon Green. Thank you.
Thank you for such a great speech, and refreshing for all of us our roles during this meeting. Every time I come about it, you don't know all the responsibilities. I've only taken some of them myself. I still have trouble pronouncing the word extemporaneous. First time I heard it was here, but I always put myself in another world when you have us go about and close our eyes and take those deep breaths. Thank you, Toastmaster Stacy. Timers, Toastmaster Justin, can I get a brief timers report?
Yes, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Stacy was not within time today. It was.
All right, so let's go to our next section of the meeting. A second here. Please welcome Toastmaster Michelle Gonzalez as our topics master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, everyone. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Please be considerate of each other, and please also use that word within your speech. Timer, can you please demonstrate the timing signals for the speeches that we are about to hear, which will be between 1 and 2 minutes. I encourage each person that is selected this evening to use the maximum time, since they will be painting pictures with 1,000 words.
We're showing the green card at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1.5 minutes, the red card at 2 minutes, and I'll clap off the speaker that, oh, clap there at 2.5 minutes. Back to you, Topics Master of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Justin. The topic will be repeated 2 times. So it's now time to get your vocabulary on point. Remember to use the word of the day, considerate. And I would also like to ask, I'm not sure she's a guest, please correct me. Gabriella, would you be so kind enough as to participate in this evening's program?
I'm a guest. Let me just become comfortable, and I'm very interesting about the way how you work and everything. So I can promise, but wait to see. I don't know if I will be able to participate, but I'm very happy to follow with everything.
Thank you so much. You are encouraged to participate by listening and learning
Thank you.
this evening.
Absolutely.
I would also like to give the opportunity to the rest of the Toastmasters that are on the screen this evening to participate. If you do not have a major speaking rule, you will be called upon. So get super focused and let's get ready. I'm calling on, I'm sorry, let me just do the question first. A forest is being ravaged by a fire. Paint a picture with less than 1,000 words. A forest is being ravaged by a fire. Paint a picture with less than 1,000 words. Toastmaster Mayana.
Good evening, Michelle. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Watching a forest be ravaged is both frightening and beautiful at the same time. I've driven down the turnpike and I've seen fires in the past, and I just can't help but watch and drive at the same time, which I know is not safe. However, the smoke, the flames, looking beyond the horizon to see where is the fire coming from, where is it going, how many acres are being destroyed right now. It's just a magnificent sighting, because it's something that I'm not used to seeing coming from Minnesota, where we didn't have, forest fires because of dry air and humidity. That's all I have. Toastmaster Michelle.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayana. We will take into consideration that you have never seen a forest fire coming from the icy cold area of Minnesota to the warm, hot, dry, and arid climates of Florida. Our next question. The pungent smell of chlorine bleach. The pungent smell of chlorine bleach. I call on Toastmaster Woodland to paint us a picture that is worth 1,000 words. Toastmaster Woodland.
Bleach. How can I describe the smell? Smells like
Tell us how it feels.
The smell of bleach is not very pleasant, though it keeps the clothes that we have that are white clean. And it could be used for cleaning the floors and walls and just laundry. Yeah, that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Woodland. Do I have time for any more questions? Toastmaster today? Timer,
You do.
Plenty of time. We got at least 7 more minutes.
Okay. Please pay attention to my virtual background. The color chartreuse, a French liquor derived from mixing yellow and green, make this appealing to us. The color chartreuse, a French liquor derived from mixing yellow and green, make this appealing to us. I call on Toastmaster Denny Lamore.
Toastmaster Michelle, I think Toastmaster Denny posted in the chat that he was just observing the meeting today.
Okay, the question still stands. I will now call on our current president, the Honorable Shastri Stewart.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dignitaries, and our guest, Gabriella. Thank you for that very challenging question, Michelle. Now that color seems a little green and it seems tasty like guava. I'm not sure if any of you know what guava is, but if you're from the islands, you know what guava is. Delicious green. It also reminds me of a beautiful island called Dominica, the nature island of the Caribbean. An island that is green as Michelle's background, with different variations, with yellow coconuts, with green palm trees, with beautiful vegetative grass, and also the green from the hearts of the beautiful young kids that are born. Also, fact for you to know, Dominica is the only island that has Caribs. If you don't know who Caribs are native Indians, and they are only located in the beautiful green island of Dominica. And the reason why you should love Michelle's background, I can't recall the color's name, but the reason why you should love her background is because it matches a beautiful island that you've not seen yet, but I'm hoping that you will visit soon, and it's called Dominica, my home. Madam Table Topics.
Thank you so much, President Shastri Stewart. Do I have time for one more? Toastmaster Justin? Yeah,
Yes, you're good. Come on.
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Do you ever celebrate green traffic lights? Do you ever celebrate green traffic lights? If so, why? Toastmaster Justin.
Toastmaster Michelle, I am so happy you called on me. I love a green light. Let me tell you, I go out of my way to avoid lights. I'm not kidding. I will take a different route if I can do right turns. I tell you, a green light to me, I've got to start my time. A green light to me is fantastic. I hate sitting there waiting for the red lights. Some red lights, you don't know, they can go on for like a minute, 2 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes. And you're sitting there like, oh, green light, I need my green light, right? I know you all have felt the same way. Those red lights, I mean, sometimes you're sitting there and you're wondering, maybe it's not working. Maybe something happened. Maybe I got to pull forward just a tiny bit just to make sure I'm getting on that weight sensor to get my green light. Oh man, a green light's fantastic. And when they're timed, when they're all like timed out, like in a row, like if you've been in New York and they got them like on every street all timed out, and you can blitz it for like 3 minutes pretty fast, going like 60 miles an hour. Oh, it's the most gorgeous thing ever, right? I'm not a New Yorker, but I guarantee you, New Yorker loves a green light even more than I do. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Justin. Can we have a brief timers report for our participants?
All
please?
timers were all people were within time today.
Thank you so much. I would like to return to the program over to Toastmaster of the Day, Ray Melendez.
Thank you, Toastmaster Michelle. And I knew you were going to do a great job here with the table topics on here. I was using my imagination as you went along, question by question here. So are we ready to set the votes for table topics? Let's go about and do that. 1 second here.
Just clarifying, you're setting the poll up, or do you need me to?
It's been set up here. I've been doing it as
Oh, great.
doing it as I go along. So hold on here. Let's make sure I got this. I think I got everybody on here. You should be seeing the polls. Ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Just a second here. Hey. I think we did our timers report. So our third section of our meeting is evaluations, the gift of instant feedback, a key part of the success of the Toastmaster program. Please welcome, is Hyun doing this? I don't think I think Hyun was taking over this. Even though Shastri is here. Is that correct? As generator evaluator?
I believe Yon was doing it, or I could.
Yes,
do
I
it.
am.
Okay, just making sure. All right. So let's give a round of applause for Hyun, Toastmaster Hyun.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and indeed our guest Gabriela. As Mr. Toastmaster said, this is the key part of the meeting. It's a very important part where instant feedback is offered to the speakers. The first evaluator who is going to evaluate Shay Greaves' speech is our Toastmaster, Susanna Tulaha. Please welcome Susanna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hyun. Big believer of manifestation. Your thoughts become who you are down the road. And Shay, I'm so proud of you for going in that direction. Compassion in action is the award. Compassion in action is the award that you are manifesting. And with the way that you are working on, daring to learn from the true visionaries, humbly engage with the communities, and actively seeking expertise from the wisdom from the expertise, that is along the line of getting to your true dream, making your dream come true. I was blown away when you started with the exclamation of saying, wow, oh, wow. And I'm like, I just want everybody paid attention, like what is coming? It was very enticing the way you opened it. And then came your gratitudes towards your family members, and we could hear the emotion of the reason behind it. We all felt it, I did. And then in the second half of your speech, you went into some of the statistics, and then you gave some of a very powerful hashtags, which is a buzzword, hashtag mental health, hashtag healthcare, hashtag self. That really drew the attention of the audience, because those we've been talking about these terms in all the households, especially during this pandemic. However, the things that you could move on is I couldn't connect the first half of the gratitude of your speech with the second half of the statistic. And I think we saw you struggle a little bit during the transition. But overall, it was a great speech. You asked for, do you believe in me, was one of the things that you asked, how you want to connect to the audience. Do I believe in you? Absolutely. Connection to the audience? Absolutely. The only challenge I mentioned was the struggle between the transition from part A to part B. And another thing, I did not see your introduction in the agenda, maybe a technical issue that we can look at a later time. But overall, a great, and you are in the right track. Good luck to you. Best wishes to you for getting this grant in future. Thank you. Back to you, Hian.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna Tulahar, very much. The next evaluator who is going to evaluate Stacy Kessler's speech is none other than her husband, Toastmaster Mike.
Good evening,
Mr. Mark Kessler.
Toastmasters. It is my honor and privilege to be an evaluator for my lovely wife. I would like to start off with an acknowledgement to all of the great leaders tonight. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role, always about the goal. And the leaders in our organization do exactly just that. Hats off. And I'd like to thank my lovely wife for being considerate enough to bring forth this valuable information that she provided to the club this evening. With that said, her preparation was right on point, valuable topic that she brought and connected directly with the group. As soon as she started off, brought everybody together. We were all breathing as one. The speech was very engaging for us to learn specifics about the actual organization and how we can enhance our own abilities in all areas of our lives. Keep that in consideration when next elections come up in your way. Body gestures. She was able to kind of like maneuver a couple moments in there and get people thinking about how she was showing the importance of the different roles and how it affects each and every one of us. She added a little bit of humor, which was a little bit catchy towards one moment or not. Her voice structure was very pronounced and activating us to kind of be a little bit more enhanced on what we were listening to. There was one area in which the description of all the roles were very important. Would have liked to have seen perhaps a persuading way to encourage people to engage in maybe taking a leadership role within the organization. Probably the only thing I could find within the speech that would have been a compliment to exactly everything that was going on. Otherwise, professional appearance. And other than that, there was great amount of information that was shared with us. So thank you very much. Back to you, General Evaluator Hian Green.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mark Kessler, very much for that wonderful evaluation. It is my turn now to ask the functionaries to give their report. Let me start with our counter. How did we do?
General evaluator. Overall, I'd say the club did well this evening. We had a total of 20 filler words. The most commonly used filler word this evening was or are, but I do want to make aware to the club the number of double starts being used. I think that is something that we need to just be cautious of. We're seeing a shift away from to double starts, so just be aware of that. The following Toastmasters did not use any filler words during the meeting: Toastmaster Jack, Toastmaster Hion, and Toastmaster Michelle. If you'd like your individual tally this evening, feel free to message me and I can send that to you. Back to you,
Thank
General
you.
Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. By the way, you are hearing the echo when I speak because I'm in the bathroom in a hotel room. I'm in Chicago. This is how crazy I am that I shortened my sightseeing to get to the hotel room to join the meeting. Next functionary would be our grammarian. How did we do?
Madam General Evaluator, well, we started out with a picture is worth 1,000 words. That statement in itself is awesome. And then we went on to prove it. The Shay started out with something and I didn't get it all, so I'm going to ask her to say it again because it was so powerful and maybe the most powerful words of the night. But you said something in the order of, I might not feel the sun while I'm blinded by the darkness. Could you rephrase that the way you actually said it?
Yes, I said sometimes it's hard to remember what the sun looks like, let alone what it feels like when you're going through perpetual darkness. But I'm grateful for God's examples or reflection of his light and his warmth in experiences and people that I've met consistently.
That was it. Thank you very much. The evening went on into presentation mastery. And Stacy had so much good stuff. I can't begin to write it all down, but I loved her turning an Oreo cookie into a vegan ice cream sandwich. And another world within your breathing exercises. That was good too, that the idea that there's another world in breath. Again, painting pictures with 1,000 words. Well, I want to not forget that we used our word considerate 7 times. At least that's how many times I counted. Want to go on? Let's see. Woodland, you just needed to make a face for chlorine bleach. That would have helped a lot. Because that stuff stinks. Dostri, you painted a beautiful picture of Dominique trying to tell us about the color chartreuse. Is that it? I think. And there were so many. That's the one I kind of love because chartreuse to me, when you think orange and greens and all that, that's fall season where everything is changing and beautiful. So different than the way a South American would say. And he said, I need my green light. Mark, you went on to tell us great leaders do not set out to be great leaders. And you went a lot further than that, but I'm going to stop with that because that's so true. It's not about being, it's about doing. And Stacy and you do it so well. And one thing I thought could have changed is a great amount of information might have been more like a valuable lesson in Toastmastership. With that, I'm complete.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jack. Mr. Timer, we have done well so far, haven't we? You have given intermittent report, But anything else you want to add, Justin?
We are well within time still as of right now, and that's all for me.
Thank you, Justin. I am going to give you my report as general evaluator. Before I start, I must say again, I have said it last week, I'm gonna say it again this week. Wellington Toastmasters is one of the best Toastmasters clubs in the area. Gabriella, you came to the right place. Welcome. The meeting started, I am sure, on time. I was a few minutes late, but you were well on your way. And I thank the Toastmaster of the evening, Ray, for giving us the visual to get us in the mood. It's not so much the visual themselves, but it's the degree of preparation that you have shown. Thank you, Ray. And we welcomed our guest, Gabriella.
Thank you so much.
Yes, welcome again. I'm sure you enjoyed the meeting, didn't you?
Yeah, it was important for me to get an overview at first. And I learned so much from you from the first class. Those are so new words for me to be able, it's my problem. I'm still thinking, I kept saying that to my husband. I got married when I was 45. This was my second marriage. I was a widow. So I said, I will always have this problem. I will always translate everything in Macedonian. So this is a big challenge for me. Thank you to everyone so much. So I'm really willing to improve my knowledge, to learn every moment, every day until my last breath.
Sure,
So
sure.
happy to be with you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Our president, Mr. Shastri Stewart, and Vice President of Education will be happy to have a chat with you, Gabriella.
Thank
So
you.
you'll have plenty chance to talk with us. My congratulations to Madam Topics Master Michelle. As usual, you have done a stellar job in bringing table topics a few notches up. Boy, what thought-provoking questions you asked. Wonderful. And you not only had wonderful questions, you were very considerate in asking our guest whether she was willing to participate. And you started down the Toastmaster members. Well done, Michelle. And our evaluators. My job as general evaluator is not to evaluate the speakers. It is to evaluate the evaluators. Our two evaluators have done a great job in offering what the speakers did well and where they can improve for next speeches. So well done, evaluators. And I am done. Mr. Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hyun Green from, you said Chicago, I think you said you were in or somewhere up there, but you're being able to do this, you could do this meeting from anywhere on here. I'm going to go and get started with our last vote here. 1 second here, last poll for our evaluators. Oops, I may need to, give me 1 second. I didn't hit save. All right, let's. There you go. Ending poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. All righty. Let's see here. I think we're ready to basically announce our winners, our formal speaker. Let's give a round of applause for Toastmaster Shay. And for table topic, let's give a round of applause for Toastmaster Justin. And our last but not least, in first place for evaluator, give a round of applause for Mr. Mark Kessler. Matter of fact, give a round of applause for everybody in this meeting. You guys make this meeting a great meeting. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all your participation. It's been my pleasure to serve you as Toastmaster of the Day. Please welcome back our club president, Toastmaster Shastri Stewart.
I will pass the meeting back over to Shay since I came a little late. So
Okay.
Shay, go ahead and close the meeting. And I have dogs barking in the background too. So.
Okay, thank you, President Shastri. I just would like to thank each and every one of you for always coming and leaning in with all that you have and making the meeting such high quality. I look forward to seeing you every Monday, and I hope, Gabriella, you walk away with just as much warmth and energy as we lean in and bring each and every meeting. I would like to remind you guys in closing that our virtual dates where we are only online are now the 2nd and 4th, and alternately our hybrid dates are the 1st and 3rd Mondays. And so we're looking forward to having a park meetup again. Looking forward to August, which would be the 5th month, but I want to refer you to our calendar, which we are actively updating. So make sure that you're checking it and using it because we are updating it. So we want to get used to looking at the actual calendar. Thank you again. And we'll see you next week. Also, 48 hours, we'd like to sign up for our next Toastmaster of the Day. Who is it gonna be?
Shay, just a point of order. There isn't a meeting next Monday.
That's right. No meeting next Monday. But we are looking for a Toastmaster of the Day for the following Monday. Would anyone like to nominate someone? Yes, Gary, who would you like to nominate?
Myself.
Oh, lovely. Well, I accept your nomination. Thank you and good night, everyone. We're staying after for our executive meeting.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. And Gabrielle.